Damn this piece of garbage. All right, click the links. Support my vitally important work on coffee. Doing the Lord's work. Not really. Not really, but it'd be nice. Or go to Odyssey, Bit Chute, Telegram if you're wearing your asbestos panties. So yikes, my guy. Bad take. Are you touching grass? Do you touch? You know, it's funny. All the people who tell you that the yikes, my guy. It's the warning from the center of the herd. It's like, you're having an opinion that's not party approved. The political commissars are going to come out and put a macara. What's the 9x18 round in the back of your skull at 3 a.m? Like all those people are 200-pound chicks or 300-pound dudes who are literally eating Cheetos as they're furiously fighting the Chads on Twitter. You don't understand. I spent 4 hours on Saturday fighting literal Hugo Boss wearing SIG hailing Nazis. Really? Wow, that's pretty brave of you. Maybe go outside and go get some exercise. And just, for the love of God, stop eating. Just, not that I'm one to talk. I've gained a little weight recently. It's not pretty. So Irishman reviews a film. A Jewish woman panics over her Asian ally. Wish me luck on this one. Gee, why didn't you get monetized? I don't know. Too many hot words, probably. So if you're... let me get to the article. It's funny. The channel is actually stuck on that gamer, that 4chan number for like a week now. It's just every time I open it up, I see that number staring back at me. I kind of smile. So if you're a SJW, always apologize to other SJWs. It will work out well for you. Once you apologize, the crowd accepts it as a unit, and they all move on like adults. So SJW should also go hiking in grizzly bear country when bleeding. The bears will accept it if it's your time of the month, and they will just keep their distance. They're very respectful that way. Try it. See how that works out for you. So, how speaking of bleeding, who's that Chelsea lady who did that comic book? She did like 12 issues of the comic book. It was like like a Beverly Clearly comic book, but in modern age, coming of age type of thing. The girls turn into vampires or werewolves or something like that as they hit puberty type of thing. And she was put in this position of like people on Twitter. Well, where are the trans in the comic? You mean biological men? How the fuck am I going to incorporate biological men into a coming of age story for girls? How does that... a lot of times I would just look at this and go, why don't you just write your own story? I'm marginalized and oppressed. No, I know, all that kind of stuff. But you have a paper and a pen. I can send you a paper and a pen. You can literally write your own story of coming of age. It's like, well, yeah, okay, it's going to be POC, other canon. It's like, it's going to be everything but the original story. It's like, this is my story. It's coming of age for girls. Biological girls, they enter puberty and they turn into, I don't know, it's an analogy, hyperbole, simile, whatever you call it, metaphor. I don't know what you call those kind of stories of, hitting puberty and turning into a vampire or something. Something like that. It's like, yeah, she couldn't incorporate trans people because they don't have vaginas and uteruses? Talk to God. I didn't have anything to do with that. So, I mean, she panicked and eventually quit her Twitter, which is probably the best thing to do. So, always apologize to SJWs. And if it's your time of the month to go swim with the hammerheads in Australia, I'm sure that will be just fine. So, however, for those of us who don't actually... That doesn't even look like an Asian kid, which is funny because how the Asians draw themselves... they don't look Asian, which probably offends the SJWs who feel like they have to go to war for their Asian allies or something. It's like, you can just leave the Asians alone. Yes, some Irishman made a review. If you don't like it, you can make your own review. I'm sure. This thing is getting so much positive publicity. I'm sure it's going to make $1 billion. Though it did go straight to streaming, so I don't know how that works out. So, for those of us who don't live in Narnia, don't apologize to SJWs. You cannot apologize to a group. It reminds me of that Mark Twain short story where there's guy's on his porch. He's got a double barrel and the mob with pitchforks is coming after him. And as they come to the porch, they see him with double barrel. They start to slow down a little bit, and he goes like, "Yeah, I got 2 barrels. With a buckshot. I won't get all of you, but I'll get some of you. So make the first move." And you know, they look at this and like nobody wants to catch that 12 gauge, or back in the day it might have been 10 gauge. So the crowd just slowly kind of dissipates. And it was such a great story. I actually got to see Hal Holbrook live a couple of times. Actually, I don't even know if he's still alive. He was in a bunch of movies, and he did a live thing where he did Mark Twain and told stories, and it was I mean, you could probably find the videos online. It was just fan-freaking-tastic. So for those of us who do not live in Narnia, you cannot apologize to a lynch mob. That's not going to work out well for you. It's like you start to put out these little fires, but all it takes is another little spark to get the fire going. It'll never stop. You can only win by not playing the game, by not starting. It's a lynch mob of, let's be honest, low IQ people who are able to whip up other low IQ people all over nothing. Or they're not thinking like rational, reasonable adults. They're emoting. It's all emotion, appeals to emotion. Immediate ad hominem deflections, appeals to emotion. You're not dealing with a bunch of reasonable Englishmen who are honestly, there needs to be their own social media. I guess it's Gab. I guess Gab is its own social media app. But Gab's interesting. Gab's a trip. Like if something's going to happen, if you're going to have something movement created, it's probably going to happen on Gab, which I know it's like there's like 3 million users on Gab. Yeah, but there's a lot of brain power on Gab. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stupid like N-word tower type of stupid stuff like that also, but there's also a lot of very interesting people who are on Gab and who finally got fed up with Twitter. Anyway, the thing is with these angry mobs, these witch trials, you don't have to like tell them to suck your balls or something like that. You know, like you don't have to pour more oxygen in it. But one, you don't apologize. Two, you block all the haters. If you block these SJW lynch mob people, you simply won't see their hatred. Believe it or not, this actually solves pretty much all the problem. So look at it like this. You made the original statement, whatever it was, or did the original act, a movie review, or who's that Shang-Chi guy who saw Nicki Minaj, who is actually an awesome rapper, and I'm not even into rap, but she's actually a good actor, too. That girl can kind of do it all. So he said she looked like an idiot up on stage. It's like, I like Nicki Minaj. I think she's very talented, but, you know, you want to call her an idiot up on stage? It's like, all right. Knock yourself out, dude. It's like, it's just not that big a deal. People say that about everyone. It's like he didn't know his place in the universe, and he is way, way, way below Black Woman on the scale, which is weird because she's like a big, big star, but they went after him. They showed him. Oh my God! They showed him who holds the whip hand, and it is not Mr. Chinese Man, at least not compared to the African queen. So apologizing is always going to make this situation worse. It prolongs it. So you cut out the middleman, you don't apologize, and you block the pussies. And they're pussies. They are pussies. Because I mean, listen, you spend 2 hours a day on Twitter. It's like, what are you doing with your life? You can read a book. I can mail you a book. If someone needs a good book, I can mail books out. Once you apologize, then it's not good enough. They want you to donate money, but it's not enough. It'll never be enough. I guess if you wanted to troll them a little bit, like if you really didn't give up F, you say, I made an anonymous donation. It's like, that's not good enough. Like, I tell you what, why don't you make a donation and I'll match it. That's not that. Yeah, you're like, these people aren't doing anything. Just block these people. Or mute them. Muting's kind of fun, too, because they don't know they've been muted, so they're just screaming into this void. Anyway, it's another rule is don't donate money to SJW causes. I know some Comicsgate soy boys. We have people on our side of the Comicsgate aisle donated to some SJW cause. I'm like, At the time, here's the thing, is at the time, it was just like only like 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, oh, that's kind of nice of Zach to donate to the Trevor Project. That's kind of nice. I look at it now, I realize like, it was pointless. It's just pointless. I would have given that money to a men's rights association just to troll, like a men's shelter or something, just a Christian association, just to troll them, because you can't appease them. It's a forest fire. You're spitting in a forest fire. Just stop. Don't even go in that direction. It's a sign of weakness. Normies think they're dealing with reasonable adults. No, F no. You're dealing with a mob. There's always going to be some single 35-year-old wine drinking cat mom with PMS. You're always catching someone on Twitter at just, the worst time of their life. They're PMSing, they're hungry, they're tired, they're cranky, and they just have this venom. Like, you all know. And I hate to use women as an example, but PMS is just such a great example. You all know when people are just feeling just very tethered, fragile. It's like to reach this point. It's like, I imagine, you have a girlfriend who has bad PMS. It's like a ceramic vase under tension, and you can just hear the cracks, the crystals starting to shatter, and if you look the wrong way, it's just gonna just go atomic. It's like, because it's hormones. Like, you can't do anything about it other than take a quarter of a Valium or something. It's just the way it is. But those people, that tension, that is always going to be. You're always going to find those people on Twitter because it's just the nature of the program. So you're always going to find a crowd of just bitchy, PMSy, pissed off people on Twitter. Your only survival strategy is just to block them. And they might get outraged when they find out that their, local celebrity blocked them. But the thing is, it cuts the oxygen out of the fight. Like, they don't have any reason to fight with you if they go and they see, like, profile is unavailable. I know that because a bunch of people who blocked me on Gab is like, I guess it is what it is. You can see it's like 250 people blocked me on Gab. How the hell did that happen? I've only been on there like 2 years. Anyway, the thing is, if they see that they're blocked, they're forced to move on. They have no reason to obsess over you, because once they're blocked and they keep obsessing over you, it starts to look a little bit weird. I'm talking about this guy with the Laverne Co. obsession. No, he's all right. Or if they sign into a different account, then they look like a stalker, because that's what it is. You're legitimately stalking somebody by signing into multiple accounts. And the thing is, other people can see that too, and they kind of look at you like, "Oh, dude, no, just let it go. Just move on. Find someone else to stalk." So if somebody whines about, you're blocking marginalized and oppressed people of diverse and systematic. I mean, like, they never mention the people who really have power. It's weird. Like, they always go after this middle class, Englishman type. Never the bankers. It's weird how the bankers managed to subvert, like, this whole movement in the past 20 years. And, like, even the people on the left never really talk about it. So how did Occupy get subverted? Like, how do we have Bank of America marching in a gay pride parade? What happened to us? Did we get subverted? Oh yeah, I guess we did get subverted. Hey, Jamal, why do you have a Tesla? Jamal, how'd you get a $140,000 Tesla? Hey, Jamal, hey, where'd the Tesla come from? No, we need to have Bank of America in the gay pride parade. Yeah, okay, but I mean, like, the Tesla's kind of weird, Hey, where'd you get the AMG from? I'm just curious, because you were working at Starbucks last year, and now you have an AMG. I just don't know how that works. It's weird. It's like you look around the left and you realize, oh, the left is not really the left. It's kind of controlled by this hidden hand. Where's it going with this? Anyway, block all these people. You want to make your Twitter a hate-free zone. If you block these pussies, you'll never see their whining cat lady cringe ever again. So what happened was some Korean or Japanese or some sort of cartoon or something. It came out, everyone reviewed it, and all the cat ladies on Twitter started to kvetch. Do they really care? No. But obese SJW cat people will do anything for attention. Except anything that actually helps anyone whatsoever. They won't actually do anything that matters, anything that requires them spending time, money, effort to do something other than that's focused on, hey, you should fight in the Ukraine. Oh, hey, well, here's your AK, and here's your plane ticket. Knock yourself out, buddy. I meant you should fight in Ukraine. I'm not getting off the couch. I'm triggered. Marginalized. It's like that video of that 300-pound girl who's trying to explain to people why she's triggered. It's like, maybe it's a self-imposed hell you've created for yourself. It's like a prison. So think back to Black Panther, a purse puppy movie made for soy boys and midwits. I think it was about slavery, basketball, fatherlessness. Literally the first minute of the movie was about basketball and two black guys in a room full of guns. I watched a few minutes of it with the sound off. I thought, Where are you going with this, Elon? So I remember seeing where the best scientist in the Marvel universe, she was the purse puppy, Shuri. She was saying something about she couldn't, like the other scientists couldn't come up with this obvious solution, but the purse puppy was able to come up with this obvious solution. My point is, this is already getting really long. You're never going to get honest reviews of SJW anything ever again if it's by a POC. And so all the people who are in the media and in the pop culture review sphere of the media, all the people in the media, keep in mind the media is 99% far left. The pop culture reviewers, like 100% far left. So you're not going to get an honest, like if Black Panther 2 is coming out, I guess, pretty soon, and there's not going to be as much excitement around it, but it's going to do well. But if Black Panther 1 came out right now, so Black Panther 1 in 2018 got a 96 critic score. A 96 critic score. It's like, really, bruh? Is that you think that's an honest score? 96? It's like better than Indiana Jones, better than Star Wars, better than all these other Marvel movies, better than almost any other movie on Earth, better than Casablanca, better than Citizen Kane. You think, really, it's a 96? Yeah. Or is it possible you were just afraid to give it an honest review? So anything by a POC, I'm surprised they kvetch so hard for Asians. The thing is, the only reason she was able to kvetch for the Asians is because it was by some kind of Irish guy or English guy or something like that. And so she knew that she had a target rich environment. If it was a black reviewer who looked at the Asian, the thing is, a black reviewer probably knows the way of the world a little bit better. But say a black reviewer did come out and look at this movie and go like, yeah, it's not very good. No one can really say anything because black is above Asian in the Bolshevik hierarchy. So it's really hard to look at that image and not just go there. But be the last video you make for YouTube, buddy. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all next episode.